designers, heart and gold, turning words to tales that never get old. With a sharp tongue and humor's knife, they redesign the vibe of life. Oh, oh.
Hi, guys. My name is Rachel, and welcome to Banter Designers. What are we talking about? We are bantering or talking about designs. If you're passionate about designs, this is the show for you. If you're not quite sure yet because you haven't had passionate talk about designs, this is the show for you still. Why do I say that? Because we all encounter design every day in the places we live, the food we eat, the clothes we wear, the houses that we see just walking on the street, the vehicles we use, everything around us. If we look around, there's design. There's design in nature. So there's a lot to talk about. All right, we're going to be interviewing guests. They're going to share their experiences about the designs that they're used to based on where they grew up in. And they're going to talk about designs based on where they have traveled to. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. Because sometimes when we live in a place, we grew up in a place, we imagine that people just see how we see. But that's not true. And today the world is a global village. So, you know, you gotta learn from other people, learn different, ways of doing things, design. So we're going to be talking about that, and it's going to be so much fun because then we get to learn. Follow Banter Designers on all the social media handle, okay? On TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, okay? Be here for the gist, guys. Be here for the banter. Let's talk design. Let's banter design. Once again, I'm Rachel. I'm your host, and I'm here for the tea. Oh, in this case, for the juice. Whatever you're sipping on, enjoy while we have a hearty conversation. Hi, Aubrey. It's nice to
Hi,
have you
Rachel.
on the show, Banter Designers. And here we banter all day about designs because we are passionate about design. So, Aubrey, how do you feel today talking about design?
Great. I love design too. So I want to talk about it.
Awesome, awesome. So we're just going to get our viewers to get to know you by asking you a few questions about design, and then we can dive right into it. Okay. So let's
Sounds
start
good.
off with our first question. Okay,
Okay.
and no fear, breathe easy. Okay, it's gonna be fun. First question is, what is your place of birth, and how has growing up in this place shaped your design perception or culture?
I was born in Orlando, Florida in the late 80s. And believe it or not, this was a quiet country town with lots of cows and cow pastures, orange groves, until about 20 years ago when it really boomed with tourism. And the theme parks brought people here. And I think I just got used to the diversity because people came from all over the world. And so we've always had a mix of people that we could draw from and see how they live.
Awesome. So you would describe if you could describe your culture preference in terms of design, what phrase would you use based on your experiences growing up in Orlando?
I like cottage core, which is kind of like French countryside, but also English countryside, drawing from nature, simple designs, and eclectic, vintage, traditional but elegant too. Not too modern, but also not too complicated and not cluttery.
Okay, cool. I love it. That is so nice. You remind me of those movies, the Victorian movies I like to watch.
Really, what did you think when you came to my house? Did you think it was kind of cluttery or old fashioned?
I loved it. I felt like I was in a storybook.
Oh,
I,
really?
yeah, I wandered in your garden. I was just there with my socks. Initially, I was thinking I didn't want to go out because I didn't want to, flare the sun. Yeah, so
It
but
is
then
hot.
looking at the beauty through the windows, that drew me in, and I'm like, okay, girl, just go out, experience this. This is what you
Yeah.
do, right? And
Mhm.
then I go out. I love the beautiful garden, the flowers, the variety you have. It's awesome. And all the handiwork your hobby did, really
Yeah, he's
nice.
really into woodwork. He can build
Lovely.
arbors, chairs, tables.
Awesome. That was so nice. It was like I was in a storybook. I really
Thank
loved
you.
it.
I'm glad you enjoyed. Come back.
And I called my husband, we have to take a picture here. Come on.
Really? Did you get some pictures? Good.
Yeah, it was really nice pictures we got. Oh, I'll show you next time.
Okay.
So let's ask the other questions we have here for you. If you could, okay, what style of design choices would you like? I think you've touched on this a little, but I'm just going to have you say a summary about that again. What style of design do you like when it comes to your interiors?
I like exposed architecture, like the beams or rafters of a roof or a brick wall. I like to see how the wall was made, for example. Or I like exposed flooring too. I know that's kind of more modern, but I like cement floors that have a finish on them with a thick rug, like a Turkish rug. So
Oh,
just using incorporating different themes to make it cozy but
mhm.
not cluttered.
Awesome. That's different design concepts from different eras. I like that.
Yeah.
Cool, cool stuff. And I did see some of that when I did visit. That was nice.
Thanks.
So, when it comes to the exterior of a home, the architectural design, what do you like to look for in a home? What would you say your design style is?
I mean, my favorite would be like that house that we took a picture of that looked kind of Spanish colonial
Oh, oh my God.
style. I don't know, arched doorways and um, I don't know, mezzanine
Cool.
things like that. But I guess that's my preference, but I don't currently live in a house like that. But I like
Okay.
open courtyards, outdoor, indoor living
Yeah.
combined.
Kind of like a Spanish flavor.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. I like that too because then the breeze comes in. You know, you can just chill out there. Look at the
You can have
sky.
lots of plants. Right.
Look at the
Yes.
sky. Look at the sun, and just enjoy your
Mhm.
drink. Yeah, and
Right.
if you do have a table right in the courtyard too, because usually
Mhm.
the Spanish like this, bringing families together. You know, in those open spaces.
Right. Yes, that's true. They're into entertaining,
Very entertaining.
probably.
Hmm. So let's talk about design choices and appliances. What would that be like for you? Like kitchen appliances and all that.
I like anything that is functional,
Simple.
simple. I like simple design.
Simple.
Mm.
Yeah, like for some people, they just like design for the appliances that are like only modern stuff. Why
Mhm.
some people would like the crock pots, the
Mhm.
old tradition ways of doing stuff. Like me, I have a little mortar and piston, for my
Yeah, that's cool.
because I believe like if you just take the garlic and you pound
Mhm.
on it, it has
Yes.
different flavor from when you
Yes.
just blend it in your blender.
Right. Oh, sure.
So,
I do like hidden appliances. Have you seen that's kind of trendy now to hide the refrigerator
mhm,
in it looks like a cabinet.
uh-huh.
So the door matches the cabinet. Have you seen that?
Yes,
I like that.
yes, it's very flawless. Gives a
Right.
nice finish to the kitchen.
Polished.
Yes, polished, and it helps everything to look well organized. That way, you don't
True.
have people don't you keep people guessing when they come to your home.
That's true. They're
Yeah,
curious.
elements of curiosity.
Right.
All right, I love that. Okay, so let's talk food plating designs. Do you like your food arranged nicely in the plates? I know some people don't. You
Yes.
can't serve them sloppy looking dish.
Yes.
Mm-mm, they're not having it.
Right.
So what about
All
you?
right. Well, they say that you taste first with your eyes, so it has to be appealing visually before you start indulging by consuming it. So
Okay, so I would
true.
ask you this question. do you choose to go to a restaurant just by looking at those images on the internet and like, oh, I love the way this was plated. I just want to go
That
experience that.
does kind of catch my eye. We just went to this restaurant in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Hmm.
Oh no, it wasn't Raleigh, it was Asheville. And the way the whole place was set up was gorgeous. So yeah, visually it has to be appealing before I will
Yeah.
want to eat there.
Yeah, for me, I think it's the same because it says a lot about the character of the cook. The
That's true. Does he care?
Yeah, if he puts a lot of himself into the food or herself,
Hmm.
as the case may be.
Yes.
Yeah, they have a passion for what they do, the way they draw you in before you start to taste.
Right.
Yeah, so that is exciting choice for me.
Right.
Let's see what other questions I have for you. Clothing designs. Are you really into clothing designs or just you like simple?
I think the best clothing design is if it fits well. Does it hug in the right places? Does it, emphasize the right things, but also minimize the right areas of the body? So for me, design is super important. I like clothes cut on the bias. Um, I like an A line, um, also fit,
Okay.
so it's not too tight around the bottom part. So I like French or Scandinavian designers that aren't too extravagant.
Okay.
I don't prefer frills,
Okay.
just simple design. I don't know.
Awesome.
I'm kind of
Awesome.
picky when it comes to clothes.
It's okay. We all are picky. That's why we're having this conversation, you know?
What
Because
kind of clothes do you like? Design.
I like a color. I like clothes that are colorful too. Sometimes depending on the occasion. For example, if I'm
Hmm.
going to a tea party, then I would like something colorful, flowery, you know. If I was going to, let's say, more formal events, I don't mind just my suits, nice suits, not too much of a bright color, but just something that fits nice. I like stilettos. And I like pointy mounted shoes
Mm,
because I believe it brings the edge, you know, because I'm not too tall. So if I wear the pointy shoes, it adds to the length of my frame. Yeah.
true.
So basically, it depends on the occasion.
That's true, right?
But just interviewing like this, I like to
Mhm.
keep it just simple, you know, colors that match with my background, as you can see, black.
Yes, beautiful. I
And
like it.
I do the dramatics on my face, my eyeshadow.
Right? Yeah, looks nice.
Thank you. All right, so let's ask more questions. Design preferences in nature. What would that be like for you?
I like iridescent things, so feathers of birds. Um, I like the Fibonacci sequence. So
Oh,
I really love the sunflowers, how everything's perfectly arranged to maximize space in the sunflower, but also in other types of flowers too. Um, so I think there's when you look at a flower, you can see different colors too that complement. There's like a red flower with a green, um, leaf.
yes.
They're complementary colors and they just look good together. Also, if you look at fish, for
Fish.
some reason, those colors just really pop when you look at them. You know, you have a bright yellow and then it's next to a bright blue on some fish. So I like looking at designs of the fish and to see if I can draw from the way they're arranged.
Nice, lovely. That so you like to stare into the aquarium?
Yes, I do. Have you been to the Florida Aquarium?
Oh no, I haven't.
You got to go. It's near Icon Park.
Oh really? I'd love to
Yeah,
go.
we should go sometime. If you want to go, I'll go with
Awesome, I'd love to go.
you. Let's
I've
do it.
been to the aquarium in Disney,
Oh,
Epcot. Yeah,
I didn't know they had one.
they do have one. It's
I
nice.
have to look at it.
It's nice, lovely. Took lots of pictures too. You know.
Hmm.
Because I love design. I can't just experience the moment. I have to capture it in pictures, videos. Wow,
Right.
crazy. All right, let's see. Questions about designs in technology and vehicles. What do you prefer?
I'm not really into technology. I'm so like pen and paper type of person. People
Okay.
do audio notes and they're so advanced, and I'm just really basic. Um,
Okay.
what about you?
I do like the I like Samsung.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's some people that they prefer the iPhone and all that, but
Mhm.
for me, I kind of find it to be interesting design, quite all right, but you know, not simple in terms of the options. So I just chose Samsung because I've always had that for years, and that's what I use. Um, when it comes to vehicles, I like Tesla just because.
Ooh, oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, I like Tesla, and I also like BMW.
Oh,
And I like them for two contrasting reasons. So
why?
because for Tesla, it's very quiet, it sneaks up on you.
Yes. Hmm.
For the BMW, it's very intimidating. It roars at you. Like, look
Hmm.
at me, I'm here.
Yes.
So those are the reasons I like them for. So let's go into questions about design experience in other geographical locations. I believe you like to travel, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And traveling can mean a whole lot of learning experience.
True.
So I believe that when you left Florida, you did some exploration with your travels, you may have encountered designs in different styles that you're not used to. And sometimes
Yes.
these can be shocking. That's a culture shock, right?
True.
And sometimes this can be like, oh, I like this. I never knew I would. I'm just
Hmm.
discovering you. Let's get to know
Right.
each other. So tell me
Mm,
about that. Your travels, places you've been at,
yes. I
what
think the
you.
first place I went that really shocked me was New York City when I was a kid.
Oh,
And I mean, just going from these orange groves to these huge high rises, it was so shocking. I took pictures of every huge building. So then I got them developed, and I'm just looking at all these glass. It's basically just pictures of glass.
yes.
And so I was kind of disappointed in my photos, but it just showed how astonishing it was to see these huge buildings.
Yeah, the
And
concrete jungle.
yeah, that's true. And then when we went to the Philippines, we lived there for 6 years. And we, for example, one design feature that was interesting was our furniture was made of bamboo.
Okay.
And I enjoyed it actually because um, you had to just put pillows on it for it to become comfortable.
Okay.
So it was nice, and different, but they can just build out of anything.
Oh,
Whatever materials they have, they can build it. They're very resourceful, the
yeah.
Filipinos.
And I think the bamboos are very sturdy, right? So you don't have to fear
Yes.
they're going to crack or anything like that, right?
Yes. Unless it's treated though, because if it's not treated, then bugs can get in it and
Okay.
it will deteriorate. But if it's treated, then it will last longer.
Longer.
Um, but it's
Cool.
so cheap and affordable. You can just, if the bugs make it deteriorated, then you can just
Get another.
get another one for free.
Awesome. Nice. But aside the bamboo, what other structure did you notice about their architectural designs?
Well, like they have huts that they make out of palm fronds,
Okay.
and that's also affordable, accessible, and it serves a functional purpose of protecting them from the heat from the sun.
Okay.
So they have little huts that they build all over the place, by the beach or just around town,
Yeah.
or to add on to their home. They might just put palm fronds and have a little sitting area. Um, but
I think you did send me a picture like that.
yeah, okay, good.
Yes. And I was looking at it like, this is interesting. This is not the
Did I
usual.
send you? Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, you did. You did send me a picture like that. It was I think it's cool. But what happens when there's a storm and the wind goes, you know, are you scared that that hut, the thatched roof is going to fly away or
Yeah, if there's a storm coming, because of technology, they can be alerted ahead of time, and so they'll flee to a more sturdy house with
Okay.
concrete. They also build with concrete. And if their house gets destroyed, they just rebuild.
So fast.
They're very resilient. The whole culture just is able to thrive regardless of all their natural disasters.
Wow, that's impressive. Now, I'm going to ask you a question about capturing those designs in pictures. Your first impression, of course, encountering a design that you're not used to would be a culture shock, right? Uh, do you find yourself capturing this in pictures? I know you did send me a few pictures, but uh, what is your first motivation for capturing those pictures? Is it something you want to remember or something you just want to experience? For some people, they just want to
That's a good
experience.
question. Like, why do we take photos?
Yeah.
I, I guess to remember it, yeah, you wonder if your memory is as accurate as reality. So you have this, image to look back on
Yeah.
and remind yourself of what happened. I guess that's why I took the picture.
Yes. And I also am thinking for me, like when I travel to places
Mhm.
that, when I travel to a place, I like to go to the sophisticated part of the city,
Mhm.
and I go to the simple place. The essence of that is just to have a balanced view of how
Mhm.
people live, and
Right.
then, feel like the locals, and then I can decide, you know, based on my living experience where, I'm based, you know, count my blessings as it were, you know.
That's true. Yeah.
you know, say I don't have it bad, and just be
Yes.
grateful.
We have running water. We have, amenities.
Yeah.
We have hot water. We have
Yes.
so much to be grateful for.
Yes. And also, so Aubrey, what about your design preferences in regards to food when you were in Philippines? What
I
was
like
that like?
trying new things, and the Filipinos have a century egg. So it's an egg that is buried for 100 days and it
Mm.
becomes fermented. And then they take it out and it's black and it tastes kind of like blue cheese.
Oh, cool. Amazing.
Yeah. So it's a different taste, but I liked that it had a design behind it. It's not just cracked and, heated up.
Oh, nice.
They really thought about how to make it different and interesting. And I
That's
think it's actually a Chinese thing,
okay.
Chinese food.
That's the first time I'm hearing this. That's the essence of this conversation that we're having, bantering about design. The different way people present their food, a different way people present designs in different cultures. Awesome. So, did you tried it and it tastes like blue cheese?
Yes,
Would you?
and it's great with rice. And Filipinos, like Chinese, traditionally love rice. No meal is complete without it. In fact, I think Filipinos eat more rice than Chinese.
Oh,
They
really?
eat rice breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks.
And snacks.
Yes.
Oh, what was the
And
snacks like? What were the snacks like?
some of my favorite were sticky rice mixed with a sweet milk. And it's just so delicious. I loved it. And I forgot what that's called, but really good. You got to try it. If ever I find some around town, I'll show it to you. There's a lot
Awesome.
of Filipino stores here.
Okay, I'd like to try it. And I think you did send me a picture of the plating design of the food, how they had the rice
Yeah, it's like in a
in the
cup.
mold.
They shape it right in a mold and they put it on the plate so it looks like a little mound of like a little volcano.
It's cool.
Sometimes they do that. Yeah.
And how do they make the plating colorful?
Oh yeah, they add garnishes like radishes or even flowers sometimes. I've seen um and they just love um fresh food like every other culture.
Awesome. That's nice. I appreciate that. So that would be something I'd like to check. Maybe you look at the Filipino restaurants that have the best ratings, and we could go there together.
Let's go. There is a good one I've been wanting to try downtown.
Okay.
I haven't tried it yet. I mean, I've heard good things about it. We should go.
We should go. Awesome. All right, let's ask another design question in regards to the vehicles when you were in Philippines. How do people get around public
Right.
transportation?
They have tricycles, which is a motorcycle that they've retrofitted with a sidecar.
Ooh.
And so you can have maybe 3 people in the sidecar and 2 people on the motorcycle and comfortably get around town for very cheap. I mean, I'm talking 50 cents for a ride.
Wow.
You just stand on the side of the road and flag down the tricycle driver, hey, boy, and give them 50 cents. They'll take you wherever you want to go. I mean, if you're going to go far, maybe it'll cost $2. But it's pretty affordable.
Nice. So, how was your first experience riding in one of those tricycles?
My first experience, it was a little bit thrilling and I'm not going to lie, scary.
Okay.
But I think also exciting to have jeepneys. And so it looks like a Jeep Cherokee at the front of the machine and then a bus behind it. And then like there are rows on the side of the vehicle in the back where people can sit facing each other on a bench.
Wow.
And so you also can flag down the jeepney driver, get in, get off, and you just tell him wherever you want to stop. You would say, para po.
What does
You
that
would yell.
mean?
It means stop here.
Oh,
Like, stop
cool.
already. Yeah.
That's
It's so
nice.
much fun. That's even cheaper than hiring a private tricycle to get around.
Oh, nice. I remember using the tricycle to get around when I was in New York Central Park.
I didn't know they have tricycles too.
Yeah, you could pay and this person rides the tricycle
Oh,
even in the winter. It was
wow.
dead of winter, I think January, and then because I couldn't get around by myself. I was wearing
Right.
these high heels, and I'm like, okay, I can do this.
Right.
I love the park, but I
Yeah.
I can't get around by myself. So it was nice to, hire someone to do that. And guess what? Afterwards, the person rode took me also to the Hilton because I had a conference I needed to attend. The Hilton downtown. So that was
It's
really
nice of him.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, it was pretty dollar. It wasn't cheap.
Do you remember how much it cost? I'm just
Yeah,
trying.
I paid up to 100.
No, for a ride.
Yeah, for an
That is
hour.
the airplane ticket.
For an hour. And guess what? This was the pitch. He said, I will also take your pictures. And I took a bunch of pictures. Yeah,
Oh,
for
so
every
he was your photographer.
yes. So he multitasked. Okay, so because of that, I forgave. I'm like, okay, the weather is too cold to ask the other tourists to take pictures of me.
Right.
So I'm like, if he's gonna do everything, take me everywhere and then take my pictures, I think that's a good deal.
True.
And on top of it, I think maybe he just felt like let me add on top of it and drop her at the Hilton. It was nice riding through the middle of Manhattan.
Oh, you see, I have a good memory,
It
even
was
if it was pricey.
so cool. Yeah, that was the first time I ever did that. And it was really nice. All right, so let me ask a question about let's say the clothing design in Philippines. What's it like?
They traditionally have this garment called piña, and it's a fabric I mean made of pineapple leaves, and it's a very light fabric, and it allows air to flow through it, so it's very light and breezy. And they've been weaving that fabric. I looked it up before Spaniards colonized them, so
Wow.
it's an old fabric.
Wow, I'd like to watch how that is made.
Yeah, we should look it up.
Because I know pineapples, I enjoy them. Very sweet fruit. I never thought about the fact that you could make fabric from them.
I know, it's fascinating. I wonder if it's like how they make papyrus,
Okay.
papyrus paper
Okay.
with the leaves. I don't know because they have to deed it. I should look it up. I don't know.
But what else nice for you to so touching it, how did it feel when you touched on the
It's kind of
fabric?
coarse. I
Okay.
wouldn't call it comfortable,
Mm,
except that it can allow airflow, and it's very hot in the Philippines. So,
okay.
but usually you would wear a cotton undershirt so you can't see through it.
Mm-hmm. That's
It's very
nice.
beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. I think you have a picture about that too.
Yeah, I sent you a picture.
Yeah.
The Filipinos usually wear that for special occasions.
Oh,
And so I sent you a picture of a special occasion, and then just to contrast the difference of like polyester versus the pina.
yeah. So the two guys to the side are the ones wearing
Right.
the
The pineapple
pineapple
leaves.
fabric. It's
Yes.
cool. I'd
I
like to try it
know.
out just for the experience.
I would love to own one. My husband has what they call a barong, which
Okay.
is the man's shirt, dress shirt made of pineapple.
Oh,
But
awesome.
the women, their traditional garment made of pineapple has really big sleeves. You may have seen that sometime.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I don't,
Awesome. So, design experience in Philippines in regards to what are we not asked about yet? Okay. So, let's round it. Okay. I think I've covered every facet there is. If you had to give advice about traveling, experiencing designs in different cultures, what advice would you like to give um, our viewers?
Probably ask questions like, why do you use this? Then you'll find the functionality behind the design too. Or, how long has this been the way you've had it? Just to get people's insight when you travel. I think it's great to find out why and, how things are made or why things are made that way. That's my advice.
That's your advice. That's a good advice. I like it a lot. So what about how about advice on balancing the act of managed perception or expectations and the actual realities in a place that you visit?
There are many ways to skin a cat. I don't know if you've heard that, but it means there are many ways of doing things. So don't expect that your way will be the way things will be done. Have an open mind, and then you'll learn and enjoy more, I think.
Yes, that's the beauty of life,
Yes.
having that variety, you know, and being able to experience different things that makes our lives richer, I believe.
True. Me too.
So, Aubrey, it's been awesome having you here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and I believe like you like to travel, you may still have pictures and more adventures that you want to share in future. Would still like to interview you at a future time, okay?
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
So you have yourself a fabulous day, okay?
You
Thank you
too.
so much for your time and
Thank you.
bye.
Bye.
They sketch the world with sparks of wit. A table full of lines that hit. Their jokes are tools, their minds refine. Craft and laughter, one sharp design. Banter designers carving gold, turning words to tales that never get old. With a sharp tongue and humor's knife, they redesign the vibe of life. Oh. Blueprints loaded with clever schemes, ideas stitched from endless dreams. They spin the world on a playful thread, playful chaos in every thread. Banter designers carving gold, turning words to tales that never get old. With a sharp tongue